Sometimes people ask, so if you don't have any techniques or any kind of thing that I can practice or do to give to me, then what's the point? You know? And here is the answer if somebody says, like, what's the purpose of even sharing what you're sharing with people? Like, don't you need techniques? And I'd say no. For me, for my archetype, we have to understand there's different archetypes, there's different temperaments. God shows diversified. For me, techniques never really worked. Following one thing very regimentally with discipline and intestinal fortitude, with the no-quit attitude, all it did is made more stress, actually. In the end, it was good, though, that I became acquainted with a lot of different spiritual practices and techniques, etc. And I got to tell you, they're all doing the same thing. They're pointing our attention inside. They're pointing our attention to something that can't be described and that has no form, and that's what it's doing. So depending on your particular character and temperament and disposition and play of gunas and elements, to use Ayurvedic terminology, I like Ayurveda, it really breaks it down to the core level. Depending on that will determine what I'm attracted to. So you have like religion, then you have spirituality. You can say, let's just say there's two categories. There's hundreds, thousands of different roads and paths within those two categories, depending on your individual type and your karma, and the best way that you learn and your own combination to your spiritual safe will determine which path resonates with you. So what I find the benefit is for what I share is, if somebody asks me, like, what are you hoping to, like, get from people? Like, what do you want to convey? I'd have to say, all I'm doing is confirming knowledge, self-knowledge, real knowledge, not worldly information. I'm confirming this knowledge of your own self. When I'm speaking and when I'm sharing and when I'm pointing to certain things or telling certain stories or giving illustrations, I'm waking up certain dormant knowledge that you have in you. It's becoming more vivified. That's your highest knowledge. When we have conditioned information that we've learned and that we believe about this human bot self and identity, we have that. And so then when we hear things that strengthen that, then that strengthens that. And then we have a deeper, higher knowledge, a more existential, eternal knowledge, which is who we really are in essence. So I'm trying to share that knowledge. I'm pointing to that knowledge that's in you. Now, depending if you belong to my archetype, that's going to resonate with you. If you belong to another archetype, then this won't resonate with you. And in fact, you might even think like it doesn't make sense or it's stupid or, whatever the mind comes up with. Because the ego hides in imagining it thinks truth is exclusive. Just because it found something that resonates, it thinks this must be the way because this feels so strong for me. This has to be it. Don't you see? This is the way. Yeah. And that's a more immature level of consciousness. You haven't yet realized that it's all true. The religions, the spirituality, it's true for the person who it's true for. For the ones who it's not true for, it's not true. And those who think something's true today may find later that it's not so true anymore. That's why I like the definition Course in Miracles gives. It says the definition of truth is permanent and it don't change. Well, then the mind of somebody will say, yeah, this is how I feel now. I'm always going to feel like that. You don't know how you're going to feel. Look how many marriages they take their vows, and then how many get divorced. Or better yet, how many stay married but aren't happy. But they took the vows, I'm going to love you forever. They don't have the power. We don't have the power to declare based on a momentary emotion or sentiment or belief that this is the way it is. We don't have the power. Life's going to alter things. Everything's subject to revision. Some things you'll find, though, they're not. It's solid. It's stable. It just is what it is. It's always like this. This is real truth. It might take a bit, though, to discern and know the contrast, the difference between like belief and actual realization. And those two terms are abstracted a lot of times in a person's mind. They're speaking from belief, but then they'll say, no, it's realization, because they want to try to sell their belief more strong. But you can always tell via vibration behind what somebody speaks or not if it's actually true. So I'm hoping to share things that, again, awaken what you already know. It just makes it stronger. We need that support. We live in a dualistic world. Like I said before, when I was talking about there's two types of knowledge, we have this informational, conditional type knowledge that strengthens identity with this human self, and that we need to go achieve things outside ourselves to make us feel good. And we got to hurry up and do as much as we can, because when this body dies, that's it. Yeah, that's a very fragmented, it's fragmented information. It's not true. But when you go outside and you're living in the world and you go to the store or you're around people, that conditioning that we absorb by default, it's part of the tax for playing in this human playground, that gets strengthened. So we're trying to do the opposite. That's why you have satsangs, and when you're around a sangha, meaning people who are also inspiring and aspiring to get higher, to become acquainted with their higher knowledge, that strengthens your higher knowledge, those environments and atmospheres, or bhajans, or prayers, or sitting quiet with yourself, or being in nature. Nature's not full of conditioning. It's nature reflects. It just reflects anything that's in you. If you have peace in you, if you're aware, everybody has peace in them, but most aren't aware. But if you're aware of some serenity in you and you're out in nature, nature's going to strengthen that because it reflects what's there. Actually, plant medicine does the same thing. That's why I always had really good time when I did plant medicine, like especially San Pedro. That's a real heart opener. Ayahuasca is known to kick people's ass more, if they need to be kicked. If you're good, then ayahuasca is also a beautiful medicine. Meaning that when you do these medicines, it just, the chemistry just, it becomes like, it's spiritualized. So it increases what's already in you. So nature does that. Nature just shows you what's already in you. See, if you're going to bars and going to rave or parties, or being around company who's just toxic and talking about, negative things and lust and all that, that's going to strengthen that aspect of yourself, because we all have that aspect. We're dipped in that before we end up on this planet. Like, we're dipped in spirituality, and then we got to dip ourselves. We get dipped into like mundane delusion too. So we're like double dipped, and then they get thrown into the human kingdom, and then it's like, okay, let's see, let's see what aspect this person vivifies. You see, and God puts all these different ingredients and stuff that we can find that will vivify one or two of one of these aspects more than the other. For a while, when we're younger or when we're unconscious, the mundane aspect is gonna be vivified. But then we hit bottom with that because we suffer it, because we're supposed to. If we didn't suffer it, we'd just stay unconscious forever. I was gonna make another video about how your darkest or deepest, your misery is actually responsible for the greatest awakening. Like, it's all tied in together. Everything, there's no good or bad. It's just all is what it is. So when you're doing these lower level mundane things for a while, bad habits and addictions and attachments and, things that steal your life force, then you're gonna be in that lower frequency. And you won't be attracted to higher level groups or satsang or sangha people talking about this, because it like threatens the identity you have with the negative aspect of yourself. All the while, you still have a deep desire to be free of it. So then God sends you some things to be free of it, and then you get mad at them, or say they're stupid, or you say you don't like it. Hey, this is called insanity. It's okay. We have to taste insanity before we can understand and appreciate sanity. It's all good. There's nothing like eternal. There's no eternal like suffering and insanity. Like, it's impossible. That's That's why I like this, this a lot of this dogmatic religious type thinking. I just never. It got me when I was like 10 years old because I was susceptible and vulnerable. But then, fortunately, I found my mentor. He's like, "Man, those people are crazy, brother. Don't listen to them. You're gonna go to hell and burn forever." I'm like, I felt that, I knew that, but somehow it messed with me. So then he cured me of that, and then later my own deeper truths, knowledge got activated, and then you're free. We have to get acquainted with our own deeper knowledge. Nobody can give that to us. This is the thing. This is the thing. I can share things that can help kind of awaken it, but it has to come from inside. This knowledge has to be unlocked inside you. And then you'll hear truth as if you heard it for the first time. Even though you've heard it from other people and you can agree, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, it is true what they said," because you will have heard it for the first time. You can say God kissed you from inside or something if you want to use that analogy. And then there's a sense of just security because you know that like you're protected, like you're good. Even if you suffer or you're in pain, it's temporary, it's not gonna last. And it's somehow for the higher good. And deeper, lower level tendencies or vasanas are getting like transmuted. They're getting put through the grinder. And then that feels like that can be painful. But then when it gets grinded up, it like turns into peace or something. It's some magical transmutation process. We don't know. But you get to where you just see how that works. You just see, you look back and when you've been on the planet long enough, you see like, oh yeah, it always works like that actually. It doesn't make you, like immune to feeling pain, but you can bear it. You can like lean into it more. You don't freak out or have a panic attack when you're like, your emotions take you over or energies take you over. You just kind of like, okay, this sucks, but like it's gonna pass. Okay, like it would. Intuition, what can I do right now to help buffer this? Maybe call somebody or go to a satsang group or go walk in nature or, I don't know, go to the sauna, go to the beach, something. 12-step meeting. You do something to help buffer that period, but it's all good. You're passing through another level. And when you get through that, you'll be on another level. You'll be at a higher vantage point. And then you can look in retrospect, your past, trials and tribulations that you thought there was no end to and you were going to suffer forever. You see, oh yeah, like it all got worked out. You get to where you see, don't believe your mind so much or your feelings. That's why people kill themselves. Their mind convinces them. Just because the mind can't see a way out, or to use the famous expression, I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, doesn't matter if you can see it or if you can feel it. It doesn't matter. Something in you knows it's there. That's enough. It's like sufficient. You just know it's there. Of course you can't see it because we're in very limited, contracted expression of consciousness. You got the human body and the physical body with all its agitations and problems and imbalances, and you got the emotional body and the mental body, and they're all plugged into each other and making ruckus, and you don't expect to be able to see anything. When you leave this body, you can see things. You can see things real clear, but that's easy. We want to see things clear now. This is the goal, and this is why we're here. And so this is why I share what I share. This is the purpose of the videos, to inspire one to listen to what this knowledge is quiet, and it's speaking to you, and it tries to tell you these things. It tries to impress your mind like, look, it's okay, like this is okay, this isn't so bad, or do this or do that. But it speaks very quiet. Our senses, sense demands, and our wants and our needs and our need for instant gratification and all that speaks loud. So then we can't hear the more silent spiritual side aspect of ourselves. So that's why then if somebody shares these things, it puts you more, it vivifies that which you already know. That's what I'm saying. And then it makes it stronger. And then you start to become more self-contained as time goes on. Yeah, this is the point. This is the purpose. This is the highest purpose, I think, for any kind of real satsang. Because how can we teach something? Spiritual evolution can't be taught. No more than teaching a little kid how to grow into an adult body. Like, how you can teach that? Evolution takes care of it. All we can do is kind of just show up and let it happen. And then in the meantime, trust more, allow this process. Don't slow it down by our negative thinking and our projections and all this stuff. How do you not do that though? By listening to higher messages, higher frequency messages. Some techniques and like I was alluding to at the beginning of the video, it's all good. God puts everything here. There's some people, maybe they'll follow self-inquiry their whole life and it's just for them. Yeah, that's their thing. That's their path. Doesn't mean it's everybody else's path. Somebody else will be a Buddhist their whole life, or a follower of devotee of Krishna. That's their path. That's what God wants to use them. Or an authentic Christian. Notice I said authentic though. It wouldn't be dogmatic. Authentic means, sorry, I'm getting a bug off. Authentic means that they're not shunning all other paths in religions and saying, no, this is the only way. That's the definition of excessively dogmatic when somebody does that. As you become more free spirit inside, it's impossible to do that. When you have a conscious contact with the source, which can always improve, by the way, there's no like, now I'm connected to the source. No, it can always get better, and sometimes it'll wax and wane. That's normal. This is an example of why this can be beneficial, me sharing that, because that can help people relax too. It's like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna be at 500 hertz of serenity 24 hours a day. Oh no, I went down to 400 hertz. Damn, I must not be awakened. Somebody else says, no, an awakened being's at 750 hertz. All this nonsense, see? When you start to get when it becomes alive in you, that there's a source, that you are a part and parcel of that source, then you can't be exclusive anymore. You just couldn't. Jesus or Buddha or any of these people can never be like that. They're like, yeah, just God's running your life, man. You follow what your heart wants you to follow. It's not my way or the highway. I'm the only way to God. I feel like he was talking about the consciousness. It wasn't personal. Consciousness is the only way back to God. Yeah, it is the only way back to God. But there's nobody that consciousness isn't exclusive to only one individual. It's for everybody. We have to awaken to that. This is the purpose and the point of any authentic video or book or satsang group or religion. That's it. To confirm what you already know. This is called living. This is healthy lifestyle habits. Be around higher frequencies that help vivify your own dormant, deeper, higher knowledge. And you can apply that across the board. That diet, eat things that keep you in the highest aspect of yourself. In your habits, your lifestyle, look at that. Is that bringing me down, or is it like bringing me up? The company I keep, all these things. My True Health book will be out. It's still being edited. She's really giving it a good overhaul, because I'm not too good with grammar and stuff. I have a good message, but my grammar needs, I can't do the book the same way I talk in the videos, so that's why I need help. But that'll be out. That's a more practical practical book, so I think that'll be good. And of course, I have my other books, the Preserving Your Sexual Energy book, and then my autobiography book. You can see the website link in the video description. And that's it for today. All right, I'll see you.